The year 2025 was survivable for TV series, but definitely not great. The question is, will 2026 bring a return to the golden age or another pile of mediocrity, remakes and pointless sequels? Let's take a look together. Number 1. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, January 18th, HBO. Set 100 years before Game of Thrones and a few decades after House of Dragon, this series follows the wandering knight Duncan and his squire Egg as they participate in a tournament in an attempt to improve their lot. More Game of Thrones? Why not? As long as it's better than the ending of the original series, which isn't saying much. Since then, we've had 2 seasons of House of Dragon, the first of which was excellent, but the second, unfortunately, was mediocre. It seems that all series from this world struggle with the same problem. As long as they stick to the book, everything works, but as soon as they stray from it, everything goes downhill. This happened with the last season of Game of Thrones and the second season of House of the Dragon. You'll be pleased to hear that George R.R. Martin, author of the original books, is actively involved in the creation of this series and has even written some of the episodes himself. So if the trend continues, we'll be treated to another fantasy hit, which are few and far between on the small screen. Number 2. The Boys, April the 4th, Amazon Prime Video. So here we are, the final season of The Boys. Honestly, the series should have ended years ago. It seems to me that the last few seasons have just been padding. It's the same thing over and over again. The gang fights Homelander, he almost gets them, but they escape by a hair's breadth. Then there's a big final battle at the end where nothing happens and everything stays exactly the same as it was at the beginning. This is why I stopped watching the series, but I might check out the finale. Because they can't repeat the problems I just mentioned, but actually and realistically end the series somehow. How will it all turn out? It's hard to say, but we know that the end of the series doesn't mean the end of the world, because one spin-off of this series has already been released under the title Generation V, and another one, World Rising, is in the works, which will focus on Soldier Boy. I don't need to point out how ironic it is that a series that was so vehemently critical of capitalism and Marvel at the beginning and made fun of how it tries to squeeze as much money as possible out of everything that becomes popular ended up doing exactly the same thing. Number 3. House of Dragon, Summer, HBO. Game of Thrones fans, this year will be a busy one for you. I already introduced this series when I talked about the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. George R.R. Martin and the creators of the series are in conflict. The author of the books doesn't like that the screenwriters aren't sticking to them and are adapting them to suit themselves, which he expressed his dissatisfaction with and described on his blog in 2024. He has since been forced to delete it, but the relations have not improved and the argument persists. Instead, he threw himself into writing The Night of the Seven Kingdoms and left the House of the Dragon alone. So if it turns out like the last series of Game of Thrones, where he was also less and less involved in the series, it's quite possible that we're in for a first-class disaster. Number 4. Euphoria, April, HBO. High school. Complicated relationship, wild parties, drugs, alcohol, social media. We've all been there, right? Anyway, after 4 years, we're finally getting the 3rd season of Euphoria. It's crazy that only 3 seasons have been filmed in 7 years, but that's just Hollywood these days. At least they're handling it cleverly by jumping forward 5 years in the series, so we can watch the characters as adults and see how their teenage years shaped them. Jumping forward in time is definitely a good solution, better than casting 25-year-old actors and pretending they're 15, as some series do. I'm curious to see how the creators handle the new setting and older characters, and if you are too, be sure to tune in to this series in April. Number 5. Ted Lasso, Date Unknown, Apple. The American football coach who ended up coaching soccer is back, and a new challenge awaits him. He will be coaching a women's team. The finale of the last season seemed like the perfect ending, but the fans were so persistent that Ted is lacing up his cleats again. If you're looking for a good comedy, this is for you. Number 6. The Pitt, January 8th, HBO. The trauma department in Pittsburgh works around the clock to save lives in an underfunded and overcrowded emergency room. This series appeared out of nowhere last year and unexpectedly became a hit. Although it was virtually unknown and unheard of before its release, it became the surprise of the year. Detailed and realistic operating room scenes, an incredible pace that makes you feel like you're really there, and great characters have propelled this series to the top of all kinds of rankings. The creators didn't waste any time and are coming out with a new season just a year later. If you missed this new release, don't hesitate to catch up. With the series coming out on January 8th, you can treat yourself to 2 series in a quick succession. Number 7. Monster: The Lizzie Borden Story, Netflix. Each season of this series follows a different murderer. The most famous is the one about Jeffrey Dahmer, and last year's season about Ed Gein was also quite popular. This time it will focus on Lizzie Borden, who allegedly killed her parents in 1892. This series never disappoints, at least in terms of how controversial it is. Many people argue that it glorifies murderers too much and does not portray them in a sufficiently negative light. Others argue that their actions speak for themselves and that if someone idolizes murderers, it says more about them than it does about the series. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Number 8. Baywatch. Currently unknown, Fox. The iconic series from the 19s is returning. It's no longer just movies that are constantly being remade, rebooted and revived, but apparently TV series as well. The actors are unknown at this point, but the original creators are returning. That's nice, but the problem is that the series wasn't very good even when it was released, so I don't know if it will be successful. The 2017 film version was also bad, so we'll see if they can break the curse. Number 9. Scrubs. February 25th, ABC. After years of talking about how much the gang would love to get back together, it finally happened. I know that this sitcom is far behind Friends, How I Met Your Mother, and the like in popularity, but I still think it's worth mentioning. Many of the original actors, the original creators of the series, and even the writers are returning. So it looks like it could achieve the quality we were used to when it came out 20 years ago. If you're looking for something to lift your spirits, this hospital-based sitcom might be for you. Number 10. Crystal Lake. Release date unknown, Peacock. Do you like Friday the 13th? Then you surely know what the words Crystal Lake mean. Yes, it's the lake where the iconic Jason kills. For the first time, he will transfer his slaughter from the big screen to the small screen. Will the murderous monster work in episodic form? Alien Earth tried it last year and it didn't work out very well. It's been years since the last Friday the 13th movie. Will today's generation still be curious about Jason? Plus, it looks like the series will focus on his mother. There are many questions surrounding the series, so I'm curious to see if it will turn out well. Bonus: The Witcher Season 5. I wasn't sure whether to include this series in the list. First of all, it's not entirely certain that it will be released this year, although it's likely that it will be, sometime in the fall. The bigger problem, however, is that I can't recommend it to anyone in good conscience. Each series is slightly worse than the previous one, and there was a particularly large drop in quality when Henry Cavill left. He didn't like that the creator wasn't sticking to the book at all, got into a conflict with her, and was replaced by Liam Hemsworth in the 4th season. Hemsworth tried hard, but it was still a complete disaster, and I'm 99% sure that the new season will be no exception. If you're the type of viewer who watches bad series to see how long they can go, this is for you. So there you have it, a list of the most anticipated series of 2026. Will this year be better than 2025? It certainly has the potential, but the question is whether it will be realized. Which series interests you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.